we will solve few problems today on pigeonhole principle. Axiom of choice. Okay, so it is like this. Suppose we have three pigeons and two pigeonholes. We have two pigeonholes. I mean, they are deep. Many number of be accommodated in these two pigeonholes. And normally I draw pigeons, but today I will just draw. Maybe I will draw something. I don't know. And it is very difficult to draw using this. Something like that. As there is one pigeon. I don't know whether it is. Oh, I can get it from internet. Very quick. I will get it for you. Pigeons. Pigeon sketches, images. I need three. Is there any picture where there are three pigeons? Yes, this is good one. Copy, say, copy image. Let me see whether I can directly put it here. Paste. Yeah, job done. There are three pigeons. Can you see? And there are two pigeonholes. I don't know whether they look like pigeons or not, but it is okay. There are three pigeons and two pigeonholes. Then what is the obvious English statement that we can make which is going to be always true? Statement always true. About three pigeons getting accommodated in two pigeonholes. Pigeonhole number one, pigeonhole number two. There are three pigeons and two pigeonholes. What is the obvious statement that we can make so that that statement is always true?
Sure, that one pigeonhole is going to contain more than one pigeons.
Yes, infinite. I mean, infinitely many. They can go one inside. I mean, there is enough space. Another problem which maybe you know is there is a container where three tennis balls can be packed. Okay, a container. I can show you if you want. You are resourceful. This is a container where three tennis balls can be packed. One, two, and three. Three tennis balls. And suppose I have two containers like this. Two containers. So it is same as three pigeons and two holes. So what is the obvious statement which is going to be true always? Maybe you can write down and show it to me instead of telling me what is the obvious statement which is going to be always true. English statement. At least one pigeonhole will have two or more. If suppose all three of them go in one pigeonhole, yes, this statement is true. If first pigeonhole two and second one, still it is true. If second two, first one, still it is true. And if all three in second, still it is true. It is very simple idea. There is nothing. I mean, we will write down mathematical statement of pigeonhole principle. No big deal. But it is very easy. Suppose I take 8 students. Then the moment I have 8 students with me, or maybe let us say there are suppose 32 students with me, and if I check birth date of everyone, then I am going to end up having at least one pair having same date of birth, not month, not year, but date. If I have 32 students with me, there will be at least one pair which will have same birth date. Suppose I have 13 students, then there will be at least one pair. There will be 2 students minimum who will have same birth month. Is it correct? If I have 366 or 367, 366 people with me, then I can guarantee that there will be 2 having same date of birth, date followed by month, exactly same. Correct? समजतंय का? If I
Yes,
take out 14 cards from the playing card, I will have definitely at least 2. No, I should take out 27 cards so that I can ensure that there will be at least 2 of
Same color.
same
Same color.
color. Same.
same.
And
Yes.
sir,
If 14 same suit, there will be at least 9.
yes, sir, same number.
Something like that. So have you understood the game? Because it is little more than the total. If at all, if you want to make sure that it is distributed uniformly so that double does not take place, but the number itself is one more than the total available. And it is not like that. Suppose I have 25 people with me, then there will be at least 3 who will have same birth month. Do you agree? If I have 25 people,
Yes, sir.
then there will be at least 3 who will have same birth month. Something like that. Why? Because 12 into 2 is 24. So even if we distribute 2 students per month, then we have 25. Therefore, the last one has to be distributed in the available 12 months, and that makes it 3. This is what is pigeonhole principle. But when you study probability theory in 12th standard, and last topic of 12th standard, probability theory says every 27 randomly chosen 27 people. See, forget about 365, etc. Randomly chosen 27 people, you will find at least one pair having same date of birth. The probability of that is more than half. Do you understand this? Suppose you have a group of 27 people randomly chosen. You should not choose them by knowing their date of birth. You are choosing them randomly. The way now we have 43. Kitira's present. 48. We have 48 students right now. They are randomly chosen. You are not selected based on your date of birth. Right? So far in my life, all the batches that I have taught, I have checked this. And in every batch, there was at least one pair having same date of birth. 2 students have same date of birth. And because they are students, their year of birth is also more or less same. Unless because you are all in the 9th standard, therefore plus minus here and there, your year of birth is going to be same. And so far, all batches, I have had that experience. And every year I get new batch, I try that. So if you want, I can try that. Now, let us see. Let me stop recording. Question number 1. Amongst any group of 7 playing cards. Now, I will show you how to write down the solution also. And therefore, I am taking an easy problem first. Somebody is waiting outside. Arey, Swanandi and among group of 7 players, 7 playing cards, sorry, not players. there must be at least four of same color. Okay, this is question number 1. Now we will do it in this way. N is equal to number of boxes. Okay, and in this problem, number of boxes is 2, red and black. So there are 2 boxes. One box will collect all red playing cards and another box will collect all black playing cards. So number of boxes 2. Then whatever quantity is given to us, we will call that as Kn plus 1 is equal to 7. That means we have been given 7 and n is equal to 2. So k into 2 plus 1 is equal to 7. That makes it k is equal to 3. Okay. So these k value, you can distribute them amongst these. So it will become k, 3 in red, 3 in black. That makes it 6. However, we are supposed to prove there must be at least 4. So k plus 1 is equal to 4. So practically in terms of kn plus 1, k is equal to how much and n is equal to how much, if you could identify, and therefore you can say k plus 1 is equal to 4. Therefore by pigeonhole principle, at least there will be at least 4 cards of same color, either red or black. That is how you will end your answer. And numerically, when you want to write down the proof and the long answer, then you should create a situation where you can apply pigeonhole principle. And for that, you need to identify number of boxes. You need to identify what is kn plus 1, what is k, and what is k plus 1. Okay, and therefore k plus 1, or maybe it is k plus 2, if there at least.
Sir, here what did you took k?
K we have found out, it is equal to 3.
Sir, what is k
Yes.
means?
K is, suppose that k plus 1 is not there. I mean, 1 k plus 1, suppose instead of 4, and if that number is 3 here, that is k, we will not be able to predict anything. That is the number k. Understood? So kn plus 1 is important, and k is, you can say that k is a multiple, it's a quotient, and 1 is your remainder in your multiplication.
Sir, it's kn plus.
Okay, we solve few more problems and you will come to know what is k.
Sir, but
I
what
did
is,
not understood this. What happened?
sir, what answer is it for this
Sir,
question?
what did we have to find? What is the answer?
No. Answer is prove that. Prove that amongst any group of 7 playing cards, there must be at least 4 of same color. Prove that. All these problems are going to be of prove that type.
Sir, I did not understand that why is it kn plus 1?
Yes, sir.
Why is it a kn plus 1 here?
Like I could not understand the formula.
Yes, sir.
So that is what is the setup. Now see, there are 2 boxes, and suppose I can create a problem saying that amongst any group of 3 playing cards, there must be at least 2 of the same color. Have you understood? That is what we considered as our pigeonhole principle. I can always say that instead of 3, I can make it 5. Among any group of 5 playing cards, there must be at least, sorry, when it was 3, at least 2. बरोबर है. When amongst any group of 5 playing cards, there must be at least 3 of the same color. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because you put 2, and then 1 extra is remaining. That is your 5th card. Either you have to put it here or you have to put it here. Therefore, there will be at least 3 of the same color. You can have 7. Therefore, next given problem, there are 7 playing cards. We are saying there must be at least 4 of the same color. You put 3 in each, then you are left with 1. You have to either put it in red box or black box. That is what plus kn plus 1 is. Kn plus 1 is equal to 7. It could be 9. In that case, k is going to be 4. And therefore, k plus 1 in the problem itself should be 5.
So, sir, we added one because 3 cards would be in the red box and 3 cards would be in the black box and one would be left, right?
Yes.
So this case is true for only odd numbers, right? And for even numbers, only kn would be true.
Yes. Question 2. Amongst any group of 3,000 people, there are at least 9 who have the same date of birth.
So, which means the date and the month is same, right?
Yes. Okay. Now, if I want to do it by using this setup, there are 12 months. Therefore, n is equal to 12. 12 boxes, January, February, April. Okay. And now you start dividing 3,000 by 12. 12 में 24.
n is equal to 12.
250. काय करतोय मी?
Shouldn't n be equal to 365?
Huh?
Shouldn't n be equal to 365 is what I was thinking.
अरे
Sir,
हाँ,
n
I
is
should
equal
not
to
divide by
12.
12. Sorry, sir.
365
Sorry, sir.
because
Sorry, sir.
date of birth is date and month.
Sorry, sorry, sorry. 3,000 divided by 360. Okay. 3,000 divided by 365. And now I know at least 9, therefore it will be 8. 8 45 शून्याचे 4 8 48 आणि 4 52 2 8 5 8 24 आणि 5 29. That will give me 0 8 10 1 0 80 more. Is it correct? Yes. 80. So if I distribute 8 people, 8 people will be there, and then you are left with only 80. Therefore, amongst any group of 3,000 people, there are at least 9 who have same date of birth. So here in my setup, what is n? In my setup, what did I say? N is equal to. In my setup, there are 365 boxes. N is equal to 365. Nk plus 1 is equal to 365 into 8 plus 1. So k is equal to 8. Not okay.
It should be nk plus 80. Right?
K is equal to 8. Right? Nk plus 1 is equal to nk plus 1. Hey, yaar, I am making mistake today. Nk plus 1 is equal to 3000.
Yes.
And therefore k is equal to 8. That is what we have found out. In fact, if that number instead of 3000, if it would have been 2921, also will give at least 9 of same date of birth. Do you understand? And it is more than 2921. Therefore, 3000 is more than 2921, and hence k plus 1 is equal to 9 by pigeonhole principle. Statement is true. Okay, these are easy problems. Now nobody is going to ask you these problems. So I will give you little involved. Show that for any set of 10 points, chosen within a square, whose sides are of the length three units. There are 2 points in the set whose distance apart is at most √2. Okay, the problem statement is you have been given a square of 3 units, 3 by 3. Now, if you randomly throw 10 points in this square, there will be at least 2 points whose distance between them is less than √2. At most √2. Okay, now this statement is important and we can prove it using pigeon also. What kind of setup will you adopt so that you can say, yes, by pigeonhole principle, this is done. Let us divide this square in 9 small squares, 1 unit each.
Sir, is my correct?
3 by 3.
Sir, is this part of combinatorics only?
Yes. So each square is 1 by 1 and there are 9 squares now. Okay. And we have been given 10 points. Therefore, n is equal to 9. Kn plus 1 is equal to 10. This implies k is equal to 1. Therefore, k plus 1 is equal to 2. If you throw 10 points in the 9 squares, these 9 squares, there will be one square having at least 2 points. I mean, if you try and separate them in each square, so you put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, all 9 squares you will put 1, 1, 1. but then you will have the 10th one. You will have to put somewhere or the other in these 9 squares, and that will that it has distance less than root 2. Because nk plus 1 is equal to 10, you have created n is equal to 9, k is equal to 1, therefore k plus 1 is equal to 2. Hence, by pigeonhole principle, this statement is true. Now, if you divide, I mean, the way you divide is going to be important. You can argue like this. You can divide them in 10 parts like this, and then n is equal to 10, but then that is not correct argument. Suppose 10 parts like this, and you throw, then it is not. In each part you can go more than root 2 distance each part, but then it is not. A statement is not like that. Statement is randomly put 10 points in this 3 by 3 square. There will be at least 2 whose distance apart is root 2. So this setup is not correct. This setup is correct. That is what I want to bring to notice. Next problem. Prove that among any n square plus 1 points placed in an equilateral triangle of side length 1, there exist 2 points whose distance apart is 1 upon n unit. If you happen to make 2 parts of every side equilateral triangle, 2 parts.
Is my correct?
Huh?
Is it correct?
Then n is equal to 2 if we take, then total squares that we have are 4 triangles. Sorry, total triangles are 4. If we make 3 equal parts, one, 2, and 3, we get 9 triangles. N is equal to 3 triangles equal to 9. If we make 4 equal parts, we get 16. So this is going to continue, and therefore if we make n different parts, we are going to get triangles n square, and if we throw n square plus 1 points, then kn plus 1 is equal to n square plus 1. N is equal to total number of boxes. Now notation is clashing, but it is okay. Total boxes equal to n square, and therefore k is equal to 1, implies k plus 1 is equal to 2. That means in each box there will be at least one box which will have 2 points. By pigeonhole principle, every triangle is, this is 1 by 3 side, this is 1 by 4 side length, this is 1/2. So in case of n sided, if we make n parts of a triangle, then each side will be 1 upon n, and therefore in triangle, equilateral triangle with side 1 upon n, there will be 2 points in the interior, and therefore their distance apart is going to be less than 1 upon n. So there exist 2 points whose distance apart is 1 by n units. Understood? Now, only thing which is remaining in this problem, pigeonhole principle wise it is easy. Only difficulty is how do you prove that every time you will get n square.
Sir, I have written the proof.
Sir, can I tell?
एक minute, huh?
Sir, recording.
Recording is on, yes. Okay, here apart from area proof is area of equilateral triangle given with side 1 root 3 by 4, and if we are dividing them in n parts, then each small tiny equilateral triangle that we get, all of them are going to be congruent. Therefore area of the tiny equilateral triangle will be root 3 by 4 1 upon n square, and therefore these many number of equilateral triangles will be produced, that is n square. That is area proof. Second proof is if you have divided it into halfway through, I mean 1/2 and half, then you first you get 1, then you get 4 total. Then you get, if you divide it in 3, first you get 1, second you get 4, third you get 9, fourth you get 16, then you get 16. Therefore end of 9 you should get n square. We require induction here, but okay, at this stage we can say that it is going to happen. This is the third way of looking at it. Now this is equilateral triangle. Deliberately I have put it in different colors, and we can expect the angle between them to be 60 degree. Angle between any red segment and green segment is 60 degree, and all small segments are going to be equal. So if you choose any of the tiny equilateral triangle, the side in this direction will be red, no, will be side having slant length like this will be green, and side having slant length like this will be red. If we follow this notation, then for getting one tiny triangle, let us say we get this triangle. To get this triangle, we will need one stick of red and one stick of green. Is that right? And that will
Yes, sir.
be like this. If we want to create this triangle, I will need one stick of red and one stick of green to create a tiny triangle. So how many red sticks that I have? In this diagram there are 4, but in general they will be n. Out of n tiny sticks which are red, I should choose one. In how many ways I can do that? N different ways. Correct? And out of n tiny green sticks, I need one. In how many ways I can do that? N ways. N ways red and n ways green. Therefore, tiny number of triangles created, tiny triangles are going to be n in n choose 1 into n choose 1 is equal to n square. Okay. Now, why we should not consider green here? Because the moment you fix these two, your triangle is fixed, because angle between them is 60 and it is an equilateral triangle. So third stick we need not consider, it is automatically there, and therefore a total number of triangles n square. We don't require induction for this, and hence by pigeonhole principle, number of boxes n square, kn plus 1 is kn plus 1 is n square plus 1. K is equal to 1, therefore K plus 1 is equal to 2. By pigeonhole principle, problem is solved. Next problem.
But where do we get 1 by n?
Where do you get 1 by n?
We get a distance.
Every tiny segment has length equal to 1 by n. Therefore, in one triangle you have 2 points, and therefore they are less than 1 by n distance apart. Every triangle has length 1 by n, side length. So even if they are sitting on their vertices, they are 1 upon n distance apart. Okay.
You said there were 4 sticks in there, but there are actually 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 sticks, red sticks and green sticks.
No, there are 4 red sticks of 1 by n length. That is this side I am saying. It is this side is broken into parts, and that slide, the same stick is gone inside. For this triangle, it is the first stick which is projected inside. For this triangle, it is the third stick which is projected inside. Okay, so red one, this triangle, if I want to denote, it is red first stick and green second stick. If I want to denote this triangle, it is red third stick and green second stick. So every triangle is different with this, and therefore first can be chosen in n ways, second can be chosen in n ways, therefore n square.
Sir, can we say that, can we show in sigma notation that sigma I goes from 0 to n?
In a round robin match, if each player wins, at least one match, then prove that there are at least 2 players who win same number of matches.
Sir, what is a round robin match?
Wait. Round robin is each player plays with each one, every other in that group. Okay, let us understand. Suppose there are 10 players. Then one player can play 9 matches. I mean, he cannot play with himself, right? So remaining 9 players he will play. So a player will be able to play 9 matches. Suppose there is one player who has won 1 match. Okay, out of 9. There is another player who cannot, or if possible, he has to win total number of matches different than this. So suppose second player has won 2 matches. Suppose third player has won 3 matches. Because he cannot win 1, he cannot win 2, because our statement will be true in that case. So we are trying to get a condition where our statement remains not true. So fourth player, he cannot win 1 match, 2 match, 3 match. Minimum he has to win 4. Therefore, 9th player will mean 9 matches. Maximum 9 matches are there. He will win all of them. And now what do we do with the 10th player? There are total 10 players, say for example. And all the number of wins from 1 to 9 are exhausted. Somebody or the other has won that many number of matches. And 10th player is still there. He has played all his 9 matches. So amongst all his 9 matches that he has played, he must have won any number of matches among these, because at least one match everybody is winning, right? Therefore, it is very simple. Kn plus 1 is equal to 10, n is equal to 9, k is equal to 1. Therefore, k plus 1 is equal to 2. And hence, there will be at least 2 players who win same number of matches. Very simple. If you do it by total number of matches way, that also it will come, but lot of calculations and inequality you need to handle. This is very simplistic. For 10 players we have understood. Same thing will happen for n players. Total n minus 1 number of matches each player can win, and total n minus 1 number of players can win different numbers of matches from 1 to n minus 1. But then nth player must win number of matches one amongst the earlier numbers. That is what is this. For 10 players we have proved this.
Sir, but with our notation, k big N plus 1 is equal to small n, right?
Yes.
Sir, can you admit me from other device?
Huh?
No, nothing, sir. Nothing.
Okay. Question number 6.
So just a second, I have a doubt.
Hmm.
So the total number of matches possible will be 45. So if the 9th player wins 9 matches, then that means the 10th player has not won any match.
But
So,
it is given that every player has won at least one match.
yes, sir. So in this case, the 9th player will have a 1 match lesser, right? Than 9 probably, because then all of them sum up to 45.
Yes. Let A is equal to A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 be set of 5 positive integers. Show that for any permutation AI1, AI2, AI3, AI4, AI5 of A, the product AI1 minus A1, AI2 minus A2, AI3 minus A3, AI4 minus A4, AI5 minus A5 is always even. Now what is AI1? This permutation. Suppose we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the numbers. Okay, so presently A1 is equal to 1, A2 is equal to 2, A3 is equal to 3, A4 is equal to 4, and A5 is equal to 5. Then AI1, AI2, AI3, AI4, AI5 is, say, any permutation of these numbers. 5, 2, 1, 3, 4. So AI1 is equal to 5, AI2 is equal to 2, AI3 is equal to 1, AI4 is equal to 3, and AI5 is equal to 4. So now what we should do is, we should perform this product. AI1 is 5 minus 1 into AI2 is 2. Oh, unfortunately it becomes 0. 1 minus 3 into 3 minus 4 into 4 minus 5 E1. Suppose I change this position from 1 and 2 here. Then it is 5 minus 1, 1 minus 2, 2 minus 3, 3 minus 4, 4 minus 5. It is going to be even. So every time this product is going to be even. For any permutation of these 5 numbers, let these 5 numbers be any positive 5 numbers, this will always happen. So it is a game of even and odd, therefore yes, even, odd. So by pigeonhole principle, if you are picking up 5 numbers, case 1,
All are even.
kn plus 1 is equal to 5, n is equal to 2, therefore k is equal to 2 and k plus 1 is equal to 3. So at least 3 numbers will be either even or at least 3 numbers will be odd. Case 1, 3 numbers, at least 3 numbers even. Case 2, at least 3 numbers odd. Okay, so without loss of generality. That is the statement that we make in mathematics. Without loss of generality means you take any one of the case and prove it. You need not prove the second. Without loss of generality. WLG. That is the short. Let 3 among A1 to A5 are odd. Right? This implies at least one bracket. Out of 5 will have odd minus odd or even minus even. No. Now if we are considering 3 amongst are odd, then we'll have odd minus odd. Why? Because understand this. Suppose you take 3 odd numbers, 3, 7, 11, 12, 14, and you do any permutation of these 3 numbers, 5 numbers, you will end up having odd minus odd somewhere or the other, because there are 3 odd numbers. So let us avoid subtraction. Let us give 12 to first 3, 14 to second 7. So this is even minus odd, even minus odd. The moment you are supposed to write the third, either you have to write 3, 7 or 11. You write 7, that means odd minus odd. Do whatever you want. At least one bracket out of 5 will have odd minus odd, makes it even, hence product is even. And if you take another case, which we are not going to write because we wrote without loss, say 2, 8, 10, 11, 13. Again, same, you give 13 to this, you give 11 to this, then you will have to give amongst 2, 8 and 10 to one of the pairs. So you give 10, 2 and 8, then this particular bracket 10 minus 2 is even minus even, is equal to even, and hence product is even. Understood? So pigeonhole principle, because you have
If we give 13 to it, then
huh?
sir, here we gave 10, but if we gave 13 to it, then
13 you have already given to 8.
Sir, I did not understand what do you mean by WLG without.
Whatever pigeonhole principle that we have done today is introduction to pigeonhole principle, and difficulty level of the problem can be raised substantially. In this we have just done basic level problems. Now let me take one problem out of that homework, and then
So what if one of them is even? What will happen?
huh?
So what if one of the brackets is even?
What if? I understand what if, after that I don't understand anything.
Well, you said so. We have proved that at least one of the brackets will be even. So what? How do we
If
prove?
out of 5 brackets, if any one of the bracket is even, then the product is even.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay, question number 17. From the problem set number 1, the person writes all the numbers from 1 to all numbers from to 10 raised to 5. Find total number of times digit 5 has occurred. Okay, let us solve this, because you must have, all of you must have tried this problem. Let me explain you how it has to be done.
Sir, could you just verify my answer?
What should I do?
I had got all the answers. If you just tell if they're right or wrong.
Which ones?
So this question only.
No. I have to explain this in the available time. I cannot check answers. Wait. Now here the way we should solve this problem is restoring symmetry.
Sir, is my answer correct?
Which answer are you talking about? This question?
Yes, sir.
I don't remember the answer. I will find out. Wait. Now, 10 raised to 5 is how much? 10 raised to, this is 10 raised to 4, this is 10 raised to 5, 1 lakh. Now, what we do is, we write down these numbers, last number, we forget about this last number, and we write down the last number as 99999. That is the last 5 digit, largest 5 digit number. This is 6-digit number. Okay. What will be the number before this?
9998.
99997, right? Like this, if we create a matrix, all the possible 5-digit numbers we have written, then we will end up having 10000 is the smallest 5-digit number, correct? And therefore we are not getting the symmetry on. What we will do is we will continue write all 4-digit numbers also we write like this, then all 3-digit numbers, and then first number let us write 000000, all 5. So if I start from 000000 and end at 9999, then I have got 10 raised to 5 numbers listed here. Okay. Second number will be 00001. We don't write 1 like this, but suppose I want to restore symmetry, I can write it like this 00002. So how many total numbers I have listed now? 10 raised to 5. Okay. Now if we see that there is a symmetry in all these numbers. And what do I mean by symmetry? 9 is present in the last number, 9 is present 5 times. In the first number 0 is present 5 times. There will be somewhere 1 will be present 5 times. There will be somewhere 2 present 5. Like that, there is a symmetry. And hence, what I can conclude out of this symmetry is how many digits total I have used. Each number is a 5-digit number. Each number is 5-digit number, and there are 10 raised to 5 numbers. Correct? So these many digits, these are total number of digits. And because the symmetry is restored, all the digits, total number of digits are these many. And how many digits do we have? 0, 1, 2, 9. Total 10. We have total 10 digits. And these many number of digits we have used in this matrix. And hence every digit is equally likely. It is perfectly symmetric matrix, and therefore each digit is used 5 into 10 raised to 5 divided by 10 times. That is 5 into 10 raised to 4, which is 50000. Each digit is used this many number of times, and total there.
Sir, why upon 10?
Upon 10 because there are 10 digits.
Oh.
Therefore,
Sir, but one will be used one more than this, no?
so now second question is, this is the answer for first question. 5 has occurred how many times? 5 has occurred this many number of times. Now what correction for the restoring symmetry we have done? We ignored the last number. And we put this as our first number, which is actually not the number given to us, because we should start from 1. Okay, so for 5 we did not make any error because neither 00000 10000 had a 5 digit in it, therefore there was no error. Second problem is 1 has occurred how many times? 1 has occurred how many times? So how do we get? In this earlier matrix, 1 has occurred 50,000 times in the earlier matrix, and 1 has occurred here one more time, right? Therefore 1 has occurred 50001 number of times. And the last question is 0 has occurred how many number of times? In earlier matrix, 0 has occurred 50,000 times, right? In earlier matrix, 0 has occurred 50,000 times. If you exclude these 5 and include this 5, 0 has again occurred 50,000 times. Check whether it is correct.
Sir,
Yes. No, wait. Wrong. Last answer is wrong. Because we have to exclude
One more zero.
all these
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
all these zeros we have to exclude. And therefore we should find them. Okay.
Sir, and also we have to add the last
And last 5 you have to add. Correct. So this is a counting business. You need to count how many zeros are there here. Okay. If they are 4-digit numbers, number of 4-digit numbers, one is borrowed unnecessarily, that many zeros are extra. Number of 3-digit numbers, etc. It is easy to find. It is easy to find these many zeros. You remove it from 50,000 and add these 5. So what is the answer that you are getting in that case? Can somebody tell me the answer?
So it will take time to calculate.
Acha, no, I thought somebody must have done it. We will do it if you want.
Sir, I got
I did
disconnected.
not understood why did we added 1 in 50.
Sir, I got it as 38894.
38894. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let us stop recording and see if we can count.
So we can